Welcome back on the AM News. This is how we start the news from the Yagaba Kubori constituency, where there was a clash between supporters of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress, and that actually left some supporters injured. Now, we understand calm has returned to the area following a military intervention. Let's get some more details from our correspondent, Ilyasu Tanko. Ilyasu, a very good morning to you. Now, what can you report about this incident?
Well, Benjamin, what we heard was that our information was that NDC parliamentary candidate, who is the incumbent MP for the Yagaba constituency, went to a community called Tantala, which we understand is a community of the MPP parliamentary candidate, who is the National Service Secretariat boss also. So when they went to the community, according to our information, there was a disagreement. Some residents of the community tried to prevent the NDC from holding a rally in that particular community. So a disagreement ensued. And according to our information, in fact, according to members of the MPP in the community, they said during that particular disagreement, the member of parliament pulled out a gun and fired warning shots in that particular area. Subsequently, angered by the action of the MPP members in that particular community, some people or members, suspected to be NDC members, also invaded the residence of the MPP parliamentary candidate, which is also in Yagaba. And as we speak, one person has severely been injured, currently being treated at a hospital in the area. And we understand property such as vehicles belonging to the MPP parliamentary candidate were also damaged. We understand a radio station belonging to the MPP in the constituency was also vandalized in that particular area. But as we speak, yesterday there was a security reaction, some reinforcement, a joint reinforcement was delivered or dispatched to that particular area. And this morning, we understand there's some calm in the area.
Now, right before you go, Ilyasu, has the police been able to effect any arrests?
Not at all. At the time the incident happened, we were able to speak to the local police in the constituency, and they said that the situation was beyond their control, and so they had asked for reinforcement from the Wale district. And like I said, the police did send a reinforcement in the area, but I can tell you that there have not been any arrests in this particular incident.
Ilyasu Tanko there, he's my colleague in the Northeast region. Let's stay on the political front now. And President Akufo-Addo is promising prosperity, progress, and massive development in his second term as president. Now, the president believes a solid foundation has been laid and is ready for a smooth take-up. He was addressing separate rallies at Mpohon and Agonankwanta Takwa on his Western regional tour.
I don't want to be Anye. Argentina went to be Anye. Oba Obian is one Malaya to maybe. I know to the Ghana for a year French. Ya, side to a bit child and day. Your Kenya, a baby, Nimoni Bibia, or Baba Catcher Ghana for my dear. Now say intro and ordinam taco for Muntio. Yamawa was on better as Mahama say free senior high school on another buy. On them Ghana, some hawkers on another buy. Hey, it's your pay on Stronyame. On Stronyame. Free senior high. What's that Bebo Ghana? Dangerous policy. Now everything should be done to stop Akufo-Addo from bringing senior high school. Yeah, then now because I want to buy. Munima the Gutia. The campaign, no. On one who's that campaign, attention. Campaign, Muhammad's campaign has collapsed.
Well, continuing on that front, government is challenging former President John Dramani Mahama to provide evidence to back his claim that the recent secessionist attacks in the Volta region were orchestrated by national security. Now, you may recall that suspected members of one of the three separatist groups blocked major roads to the region and attacked two police stations, including an armory. But in an interview with editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., the NDC's presidential candidate claimed information available to his party indicated that national security was behind the attacks as part of a grand scheme to suppress votes in the Volta region.
We're hearing all kinds of rumors. Already we have people in the armed forces. We know the deployments they've made in the Volta region, and we don't know what they are deploying all those soldiers in the Volta region for. Maybe to intimidate the people like they did during the registration exercise. We know the issue of Western Togoland, you understand? The Western Togoland guys who went and put sand on the road, the Sogakope road and other things. They are not the proper Western Togoland. What's the man's name? Efo, the old man. I've forgotten his name. They are not Efo something people. This is an instrument of national security. And so they tell them what to do and, you know, show them what to do. We have intelligence that on that day, they will attempt to disrupt things in the Volta region. And if they do, it's because national security wants to suppress the votes in the Volta region. And so that is one.
So that was the former President John Dramani Mahama. But in a sharp rebuttal, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah says the former president must stop running down state institutions and desist from making unsubstantiated claims.
No, we're not surprised that Mr. Mahama will accuse the state security agencies, the military, the police, etc., without any evidence. We're not surprised because I think in recent weeks it's become obvious that as they struggle to get a credible campaign message that Ghanaians will believe, what they've resorted to is allegations and fabrications merely, without more. So we are not generally surprised that he will now accuse the state security agencies of being the ones behind the criminal acts by some so-called secessionists in the Volta region. In principle, we are not surprised. We are disappointed, however, that as a former commander-in-chief, as a former president, he is willing to drag into his politics the security agencies, the military and the police, and accuse them of being the ones who staged these attacks and not even provide any evidence. We think the responsible thing to do would be that if indeed he has any credible evidence that some persons were involved in it, is to make that evidence available even for the general public to observe or to the appropriate agencies to act on. But to merely mouth allegations like this without any evidence is very disappointing.
Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah there. On now to our next story, and some fishermen in the central region are accusing government of selling premix that is supposed to be used by fishermen to party functionaries. Now, according to the fishermen, the practice accounts for the hoarding of the commodity that has resulted in fire outbreaks at the landing beaches in recent times. At a news conference in Elmina, spokesperson for the fishermen, John Quayson, blamed government for politicizing the fisheries sector and bringing untold hardship to the fisher folk. Richard Kwejonako has more in the following report.
John Quayson first asked the energy minister to come clear on the claims he made about the subsidies government puts on the premix fuel.
2019, December, on the 3rd, our brother, Energy Minister Peter Mewu.
In December 2019, John Peter Mewu stood at Winneba and claimed the cost government incurs on the subsidies on the premix fuel amount to 400 million Ghana cedis. We have investigated, and the indication is that the money does not come to the fishermen, but rather party functionaries. The reason for saying this is that we all watched a documentary on Joy News. The reason this press conference has been held.
Premise, if you talk about Edeni Wajibabugum, Edeni, Petro Edeni Wajibabugum, and some try for Bano, I know what about a premise. Nasha,
the premix is offloaded into this very building, and when they bring it from Tor, the investigative journalists bought the premix from here. Government says we should buy the 70 gallons for 5.1, but they sell it to us at 10.5. When they do that, do you think it is fair? We have checked the money that is supposed to come to us, but does not come to us, but rather goes to the MPP party members. And this amounts to 4 trillion Ghana cedis. He says the fishing industry has suffered under President Akufo-Addo, and there is no way the government should be given 4 more years. 4 more years to them means 4 more years of hardships for the fishing communities. The month is about to end, but there is nothing to show for it. They have made us go through hardships, and within this period, they say they are bringing us money. We have gone through hardships for 4 years. Is it now that they have realized we need money? Can we work with Akufo-Addo? Are they not fooling us? He further questioned why, for some time now, the color that is used to distinguish between a premix fuel and a petrol is not being applied. According to him, the motive is for some element to divert the premix fuel for some purposes. From Elmina, my name is Richard Kwejunyako for Joy News.
We're still 7 days away from election 2020 and from the diversion of premix fuel. We move on to the educational front, where the College of Technology Education in Kumasi and the College of Agriculture in Mampong, Ashanti, have been carved out of the University of Education, Winneba, and that is to form a new university with its own governing council. Now, the university is now known as the Akenten Apiamenka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development. The university will spearhead the government's vision to engender job creation and industrialization of the nation via effective technical and vocational educational training. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has more in this report.
President Akufo-Addo signed the university's bill into law on August this year, administering the oaths to the 16-member governing council. At a brief ceremony in Kumasi, Minister of Education Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh charged the university to focus on its core mandate of providing TVET education for national development.
So carefully selected people who have the experience in TVET instruction. We brought in people who are serious industry players. We brought people virtually who are all technical onto this because we want this university to stay within its core mandate, and so that the government can concentrate its support in the university that is doing what it's supposed to do. TVET goes hand in hand with entrepreneurial development because we want people to also come off street and be able to set up and do self-employment going forward. We've also launched a national skills competition, and we are part of the World Skills Group that will bring students and everybody around to compete and know what we are doing. We are already excelling in food and garments and things around where we go for these competitions, and we are also advancing gradually with our robotic competitions and everything, because government still believes that it must support TVET. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also to provide a focal point for the training of TVET tutors. We want this university to train mainly tutors for the TVET industry. Tutors to go into the junior high schools, tutors to go into the senior high schools, tutors to go to the technical institute, and tutors to go into the secondary technical.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Reverend Professor Afo Broni, pledged his support for the new university. He advised the university to concentrate on professional development.
And there are many other pieces of advice that I will give to concentrate basically or majorly on professional development. Expedite the promotions because universities are for professors. Make sure that the promotion processes are expedited so that we have as many quality and internationally recognized professors in this university as quickly as possible.
The governing council is chaired by Mr. Paul Kwesi. He promised the board will work hard to fulfill its mandate.
On behalf of the governing council, I wish to assure you that we will take this responsibility seriously and ensure that we deliver on the mandate.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
On now to some security-related matters, and the Ashanti Regional Security Council will in the coming days flood the streets of the region with police officers to arrest and possibly confiscate all unregistered motorbikes. Now, Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah says they are doing this to not only curb the activities of criminals who mostly use such motorbikes for their operations, but also to ensure accident-free elections. He is unhappy most of the fatal accidents being recorded in the region involve mostly motorbikes.
Most drivers, especially commercial share drivers, value X than human life. If you see a driver that is conveying X, the person is so careful, will drive at the pace that will ensure that he or she gets to the final destination without a single egg being broken. But when it's loaded with human being, by the time you realize, boom. The carefulness, the sensitivity that we use in driving vehicles when we are conveying X, we should triple that when we have human beings in the vehicle, but not vice versa. How can you relate the value of X to that of human beings? But if they don't know, the way they drive when they have X means that they value X more than human life, which is wrong.
Simon Osei-Mensah is Ashanti Regional Minister, and it's on that note that we cap off the AM news for this morning. Don't you forget, drive safely, arrive alive. The news review is up next on the AM show. Do stay with us. Welcome on the news review. And of course, it's 7 days to elections and the prophecies are also pouring in. Well, we here, no prophecies so far. We deal with the hardcore facts and figures. Very good morning to you.
Good morning. I should call my pastor and ask what he's hearing.
What if he's not heard anything?
Well,
if he's heard anything.
Oh,
it's so interesting. It appears around this time, God speaks to our, religious leaders.
Not all of them.
Specific, just, around election time and all of that. You wonder, like, the fires that have gutted Odona recently, the Ghana Commercial Bank building in Kantamanto and the rest. How come they don't see stuff like that? They only see, election predictions and...
So maybe that's an area of specialty. You know how it is. You've got to specialize in something.
In the spiritual
area
realm,
of specialty, even in the spiritual realm, is election related. Yeah.
We should specialize. We should specialize even in our art. But this morning, what papers do you have?
The Daily Graphic, the Daily Dispatch, Daily Statesman, the Ghanaian Publisher, the Republic Press. Okay, there's no D, it's Republic Press. And Punch. These are the papers I have.
The Ghanaian Times from my end, Ghanaian Times Daily Guide, the New Publisher, the Finder newspaper, the Custodian, and Economy Times. So that's it from my end. Maybe I'll kickstart with the headlines when it comes to the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Pictures here of Bridget Jogbanuku, PPP flag bearer, Ivor Green Street, electric shock. CPP, Christian K. Andrews, Ubetigum. And then Hassan Ayariga, APC, whether it's Akuma, APC, but of course. And then Mr. Kofi Akpalu of the LPG, all of them featuring prominently. And the story is MPP NDC duopoly. We're poised to end it. PPP, CPP, PNC, others declare. Fire destroys GCB Liberty House storeroom. Bank closes. And that's a very sad development over the weekend. So we'll be bringing you some more details on that. Over the weekend, we did bring you up to speed on what was happening. Infantiman MP's burial brings Mankesim to standstill and grief. All of that in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. But more accidents happening. And Abronya, had an accident. His crew had an accident over the weekend. Some NDC faithful, another accident over the weekend. And now we're also being told on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, 40-foot container car crash kills 2 in Takrady. And so it appears the carnage on our roads is not getting any better ahead of the elections. On the back page, Liberty Wonders share points, and ASAT grabs Goldfield's PGA Golf top prize. So that's it with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. And maybe just to chip in this one, over the weekend as well, Game Boy Tego in action. GBA congratulates Tego and meets promoters today. There were fears as he went into that bout, but thank God he actually got a decision out of it.
So that reminds me, it's not boxing though, but I had a dream about Hearts of Oak.
Hey,
is it that we had signed some player or something, Charlie?
From where?
I think I even had a name, but I can't remember.
Is the player, so they had signed the person from outside of Ghana?
No. Will say.
But, I mean, that is a norm. It's something normal with Kotoko, for example. We have a Brazilian,
police.
Signing.
Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Listen, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Like, you're a wrong person to talk to about my Hearts of Oak dream.
No, but that's
just killed it right there. You just killed it.
Dreams, for you to be dreaming soccer.
I should give them a name. Who knows? The Daily Graphic newspaper front page, prioritize national interest in election reportage. That's a call by the chairman of the board of directors at the Graphic Communications Group, Professor Kakari, urges media. Information Ministry warns against fake news. Political parties predict a higher voter turnout. And in 2016, out of the 15,712,499 registered voters, little over, almost 11 million voted, constituting 68.62% voter turnout, with about 5 million voters not showing up to cast their ballots. MPP this time expects a voter turnout of between 75 and 80% in the polls based on the enthusiasm that surrounded the voters' registration exercise. So details of that in the paper today. The NDC, what's the NDC saying about this? And the Graphic spoke to the communications director, Mr. Kakari Samoa, who said although he would not bet on a percentage turnout, heightened tension during the voters' registration exercise raised expectations that people would turn out to vote for the NDC. Okay, so if you look at the two parties with 1 week to the polls, you're expecting that lots of us will show up to vote. Also, special voting tomorrow. EC cautions cast votes or forfeit civil rights. So this is what it means. If you're parts of the special voting tomorrow, if your name has been added to the list of special voters and you don't vote tomorrow, you cannot vote on December 7th. That's it. If you don't vote tomorrow, even though your name is in the special list, you cannot show up on December 7th to vote. If your name in the special voters list?
Nope.
I didn't put my name forward, so...
I didn't either. Okay. So I'll have to do it with everybody else. You know, it'll be interesting because I think part of me was just like, I want to feel it when, the ambience and everything, and you can feel how people are excited about participating in the process and all of that. I feel I just wanted to have an experience of that. It's been a while, like I've said. I say it ashamedly that I've not voted in donkey years. No, it's the truth.
Should I be discussing national issues with you?
I've not voted in donkey years.
But you're voting this year?
I'll be voting this year. Sometimes, and there was that protest caucus. So
you've been protesting?
I've been protesting because I look at the two major political parties, and like it or not, we're like the American system. It's Republican, Democrat here, it's MPP, NDC. That's what it's been. I look at the two of them, I look at very important issues like youth development, human development, employment, and some of the things, the basic things I see. And Mama V, we've both traveled across the world. You go to countries, one country that really got me thinking about our situation in Ghana, Cuba. Embargo since the 1950s. And what those people have done, they've been able to maintain vehicles from the 50s. When you go to Cuba today, you want to move from Cienfuegos to La Habana to wherever. You're using these antique vehicles. They don't even have a lot of these modern vehicles. And what they've managed to do with socialist system. The resources they have, nothing close to what we have. And you come here and you look at what we have, it breaks my heart.
So you've been upset with how we've managed
terribly upset.
Our country, and that's why you haven't voted. So may I ask why you're voting in 2020?
Well, I just, yes, I get your point.
Your heart has changed.
Yes, I've had a change of heart.
Okay, we thank God.
Is this Socrates or Plato who says that? You know,
but listen,
at some point it'll be changed.
I think that the special voting is also because persons will be working. Some persons will be working on election day and may not have the time. I know my schedule on December 7th, so I can safely vote. 4 years ago, I did vote at Legon. And when you go around like 2 p.m., like, there's really no queues, because I think they had quite a number of polling stations. Even this year, we have many more polling stations. Well, there's a news feature on the center spread of the Daily Graphic. It's on footbridges on holiday. It says, let's act to save lives. It's still the same story of you find the bridge, but the human beings simply refuse to use the bridge and rather cross the busy roads. And so what you see in the center spread, essentially what we do in Ghana, like we cry and then they'll provide the footbridge and then we'll come up with all sorts of excuses. Oh, it is too long, it is too this, it is too that.
They
and then
that way, as it is.
So interestingly, the Zongo Junction footbridge is now a trading spot. Somebody's selling slippers and shoes there because the human beings are not using it.
Something else we do often. That's why at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, they had to bring those rocks and you see that patch where there are a lot of rocks and all of that because people are beginning to sell there.
Yeah.
So they had to bring that to prevent people because it's not possible to sell there.
There's a disappointing photo though. I mean, all of it is disappointing, but most heartbreaking is this. There's a policeman and those in white, that's the MTTD, right?
Yeah.
With the arrow pointing towards him. It hurts that his face is not in here because we could have really identified who he is.
He's arrowed.
He's arrowed there. We're zooming in. Thank you, Yao. What he's doing there, he's actually ensuring that the pedestrians cross the road, even though what they're doing is totally wrong. You see that there's a footbridge. Instead of asking them to do the right thing, he's actually encouraging them to do the wrong thing. But that's what's happening right there.
Let's look at the other side. He is one police official. If he feels he's being overwhelmed, that people are doing it anyway, he's trying and he can't control all of them.
What?
I get you.
The footbridge is right in front of him. Like, he can see it.
First option, direct the people to do the right thing.
What?
But if you realize that, I mean, he's one person, and if I don't know what his situation is.
No way,
if he feels overwhelmed, wouldn't the next best option be to ensure their safety?
Overwhelmed?
Hey! Ah, well. I don't know. I'm not holding brief for him, but I'm just saying
that. The power of one policeman, as soon as he says to like the first two people, go back and use that.
Anyway, it reminds me of something that was said over the weekend on Newsfile about, police officers, or was it this past Saturday, and the power they wield, and how when they tell you something, you must comply, because within those moments, they're operating within the law, and they have every right to tell you to obey. And so if you fail to do that...
Even cars, they stop. Not human being who is crossing a road. I am disappointed, because if you do this, then we will continue doing the wrong thing, because you are even encouraging us by stopping the cars and ensuring that we cross when the footbridge is right there.
Very valid point. The Daily Guide now. Don't change Nana and the MPP. Kufuor, that is former President Kufuor once. Slain MPP, MP buried. NDC begs Konedu. And when we bite into that story, you'll find out why. National security behind Volta rebels, claims Mahama. Of course, there's been a response to that. Expect more fake news and insecurity claims. That's according to the MPP. And isn't it coming from all sides? NDC gurus in accident. But interesting stories on the back page of the Daily Guide newspaper. I guess now we want to take pictures of everything. And so at the funeral home where Maradona's, remains were and all of that, guess what? They were taking pictures. And it caused a lot of...
Of the dead body?
Yes, with the dead body.
Hey.
Well. I mean, you can, and it was trending on social media. And
if it happens here in Ghana, it happens. If you don't,
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying we've got so social media happy that we want to. Have you seen those videos where someone is drowning and the rest, and people are busy shooting videos rather than assisting?
Yeah. Everybody
It's
wants to be
crazy.
the first to take the, yeah. In Kumasi, when the track, what's the name? It's got a name. Is it Mahama Kambu? You remember that tragic incident of a track running into it, and then it got bent in the process. There were human beings.
Oh, is it the one where the people?
There were
burnt
people.
to-
There were
right.
people taking, recording. Like people are screaming and recording at the same time. Yeah, it's like the first thing you do. We want to take like a close up of everything and show it. I don't know whether to show that, oh, I did it first, or I'm sharing because I've seen it. Yeah.
I think our world is just going crazy. But in some sporting news, bombs at Roma training grounds, and this one, check out the placement of the teams in the Spanish La Liga. Real Sociedad is tops, 23. Atletico Madrid also with 23. Guess where Real Madrid are? 17 points. Barcelona with 14, Charlie. And Koye for the big boys. When you come to England, my own Man United that has been shirked, abandoned by yesterday. It was a hard-fought victory for us. 2 goals down at halftime. And that Cavani guy, he's just something else. Anyway, Liverpool on top there, but Man U, Tottenham with a game in hand. So that's it. Orekwam Prof will bring you more of that in sports.
All right, let's do the Daily Dispatch. Front page of the paper. Despite good opinion poll results, NPP should work harder. That's according to Alfred Thompson, Secretary of the Young Executive Forum. We should vote in peace. Miss Cecilia Dapa making that call. Beneficing's advertising his book. I saw it in a bookshop on Saturdays. The Vidya bookshop? 2020 election, yeah. Who wins? Right. I try to go through the book. I'm not going to tell you a lot, but it's not like a lot of pages. I think it's simple to read. If you're interested, you can grab it. Okay, that's it for the Daily Dispatch.
Right. Now, let's do the new publisher. And Mahama warns EC boss over rushed election results. Infantimana MP laid to rest. 2 vehicles run over cop at Techiman, drivers on the run. This is another sad one from this weekend. This story to do with that cop who was run over. And, the perpetrators are at large. One of the things that really irks me, you do something, maybe you hit someone, you whatever happens, and you try to run away. That's just so irresponsible. That's it with the new publisher.
All right. Let's do the Punch. Oh, there's no there. Let's do Punch. Kufuor wanted me to probe Mahama Martin Amidu, and you've seen in that 27-page piece that he produced on Friday. Yeah. That's another banger, another boom. Is that it?
Have you seen the mathematics of it? People say,
yes,
Charlie,
because
you issue 3, the response is 9.
Last one
multiply and give you 20.
The last one was 9, and the response 27. So if you come back with whatever, you'd see whatever.
But have you done the math?
But I haven't. I haven't.
If 27, there is a response, Charlie.
I haven't. But I'll come back. I'll come back and also touch on some of the things that Mr. Amidu raises in his 27-page piece. And I think that it will be easy to just forget some of the very important things that he's saying in that response to the presidency following the government's reaction to his resignation. And this time around, he says they wrote to him in his personal capacity because they had already acknowledged his resignation letter. This one that was personally handed to him was in his personal capacity, and that's why he's taking time to respond to them. It's a big shame, though, that some people are threatening him and sending him threatening messages. That's a not. If you want to face Amidu, you to take pen and paper and write. EC caught pants down over rigging agenda. That's attributed to Elvis Efriye Ankara. Shortage of maize hits Ghana with a question mark. Medical customers declare support for NDC in Kumasi. On the Airbus scandal, Martin Amidu hits hard at Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh. We've seen a response also from Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh. That's it with Punch.
Well, it wouldn't be, technically, to say the Punch because you're using the article before it. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
I just want to mention their name right.
Well.
Because I don't say the Daily Graphic, right? So.
Okay. Well, at least on the back of what you said about Martin Amidu, the one of the most recent, the 2-pager that he sends with someone calling him names and Anabi And the national youth organizer of the MPP, Henry Nana Boakye, has come out to make it clear that I am not that Nana Binti Motibibi or Pacho Enyamia. The Finder, what have they found? 253% ECG tariff hike under Mahama between 2012 and 2016. Akufo-Addo reduced it by how much? 2%. Be wary of rise in fake news and insecurity claims. That's according to government. We brought you that story in AM News. Senior Minister inaugurates 250 megawatt hydro solar hybrid project at Bui Dam. Akufo-Addo commissions 160-bed Chifu at Timokwa District Hospital. And then fire outbreak did not affect us, but branch is closed. That's according to the GCB. Shall we?
Okay, yes, I'm just a bit confused. So this is Republic Press newspaper. The Amidu stories in the paper. Obasanjo writes to Nana and Mahama, and Fansiman MP laid to rest. But what's confusing to me is I wanted to dig in a bit on the Obasanjo writing to Mahama, Nana and Mahama. But the details of that is that of the former special prosecutor's story.
Right.
So I'm not sure if they've just changed. So I can't find the story, essentially. That's what I'm saying. It's on
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he were dabbling in...
The headlines, so you'd see the headlines, all right?
Right.
But the flesh, essentially the same story, which has to do with the special prosecutor. You feel me?
It may be that he is delving into that matter. You know, he has quite a relationship with Ghana. And even in recent times when former President Rawlings, may so rest in peace, passed, you know, he was talking about how Rawlings had contributed to...
I think you're right.
It's
you're right. Okay, because I see it down here. Obasanjo, in a 3-page letter made public on Saturday, addressed the leaders of Ghana's leading political parties, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party. He emphasized the need for peaceful electioneering for the country's stability. Okay, let me just end here. I don't know the connection between the two stories, but you can read on, grab the paper and read on.
The custodian now, turn out to vote for MPP, Nana to voters. NDC to churn out fake news, government cautions public. 109,577 voters for early voting tomorrow. Are all the names on the list now?
I know somebody in our newsroom who was excited he saw his name, so I haven't heard anybody complain.
Well.
I'm not complaining, I didn't put my name forward.
I'm not either, and I checked my name from my center or station. So give Akufo-Addo 4 more years, Kufuor urges Ghanaians. That's it with this paper. Maybe I'll just wrap up with the Economy Times on that. Economic activities pick up sharply. Fate of Ejapa deal hangs in darkness as deadline fast rolling amidst stiff opposition. And in terms of the trade surplus, Ghana records $1.5 billion. Let's dig into the stories, shall we? Mama.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to highlight some of the things that Martin Amidu, mentioned in his 27-page response to the presidency.
About some of
some of the jabs, yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay. So I wanted to skip, and I actually made notes of what he said, just to skip the beginning, the things that he addresses. But he's accused the president of having refused to interdict or order the MC of Boko Municipal Assembly. I thought that was really, really important. Right. Something that he brought up. And he says
especially as others have been interdicted.
Exactly. So first of all, he mentions what had happened to Daniel Domolovo, for instance, as he's been forced to go on leave, if you like. But he's saying that this MCE was accused with others, and the others have been interdicted, but the president is refusing to let this woman, step aside for the investigation to continue, or for the case to continue. And then he also says that the president...
even more critical, that a witness there who should have actually been delivering a witness statement was made by the MCE, according to Martin Amidu, to proceed on leave so that the person would not even be available. That's how bad it is.
So he says that he won't be surprised still on this case, and he gives the case as the Republic vs. Hajia Hawa, Nenchema and 7 others. He won't be surprised if the people in the case are acquitted and discharged because of his resignation. And that's really, really important. And then he also says that the president should not have unleashed his attack dogs on his integrity as being responsible for the failure of the special prosecutor in the fight against corruption under his administration. So he disclosed politically induced witch-hunting audits ordered into the office of the special prosecutor after his resignation would not intimidate him. So 2 things that I'm saying. One is the issue about the MCE for the Boko Municipal Assembly, who, according to him, the president will not allow her to vacate her post so that they can properly deal with the issues that have come up in courts. And then the other one is the witch-hunting audits, and these are his words, that has been ordered into the office of the special prosecutor after his resignation, and he says that it will not intimidate him. Yeah, those are the 2 things I thought I spoke. Yeah.
And Sembibre. But let me see whether I can find the story. In fact, if you've not read it, you should grab. I took time. I had read bits and pieces, but last night I read the entire thing, and it makes for interesting reading. I just feel that the wording in some places, Charlie, Moses parts and any other parts.
So you should take pen and paper and write.
Page 6. The new publisher. Mahama warns EC boss, and it says former President John Dramani Mahama has warned the Electoral Commission headed by Mrs. Jean Adukwei-Mensah against rushing to declare the results of the December 7 general elections. According to Mr. Mahama, the Commission must be law-abiding and follow the procedures as stated by the Constitution of Ghana. And I quote him here as I end. We're not declaring any results. We are not rushing to declare any results just to achieve a 24-hour limit. The law states the period for which the results are to be transmitted, and this is what we must abide by. What are you in a rush for? Is there something we do not know? He quizzed. So that has come up because of that purported arrangement by the Electoral Commission to sort of declare after 24 hours. But as for us here, we'll be here. Whether it's 2 days, 4 days, we have a runoff. We did for you.
All right, let's do myjoyonline.com, our news portal. Let's check out what's trending this morning. Abronia DCE escapes unscathed after near fatal accident. That's the NDC's, no, did I say NDC? The NPP's Bono Regional Chairman of the party has been involved in an accident, but he's fine. There's also a related story of the 3 NDC executives involved in near-fatal car accident. All went campaigning and returning to meet for the NDC, the 3 executives were told they were returning to meet their party chairman elsewhere when they were involved in this accident. But they are all, not just injuries, but not fatal, which is good. NPP NDC supporters clash in Northeast region. This is not good at all, especially at this time with 1 week to the polls. But thankfully, we're told that this is under control. There are some military personnel. This is Yagaba, exactly the spot where this happened. We're not sure exactly what happened, but if you speak to the NDC, they'll tell you, oh, the MPP started it. If you speak to the MPP, they'll tell you, oh, the NDC started it.
Eliasi Tanko this morning, he was talking about a rally and some people trying to prevent members of another party, I just don't want to mention, and all of that. So.
Well, wrongly filed election petition will be thrown out. So this was yesterday as Dr. Basit Bamba was interacting with Samson Ladiayen. In this regard, misleading video of disposal of ballots, the EC issued a statement yesterday, and that's it. Olusegun Obasanjo cautions a Akufo-Addo Mahama ahead of December 7th.
That's actually the story.
Polls. Yes. Looking at in the paper. And I am a proud Oteni and a citizen of Ghana. Martin Amidu, people using very degrading ethnocentric. Is that it?
Yep.
Words in describing that's a no, big no. If you're capable, please, you to take pen and paper and write. And
no.
You can do 90 people will read it. Okay, that's it for the review. Stay with us. We've got sports coming your way. Lots of action over the weekend. Orekwan Pofo will fill us in on what we all missed over the weekend. We will come back and talk election 2020. Of course, this is your election headquarters. There have been polls, I think about 2 or 3, just between
about 4 now.
4, yeah? Between Saturday, no, I'm just talking about between Saturday and Monday morning.
Well.
They're predicting different things. The latest now is the fact that the election, it won't be one touch. There will be a runoff. We'll come back and open up all the issues related to the 2020 polls. You're watching the AM Show on Joy News.
Let's move to some football, where there is a breaking story concerning Accra Heart of Oak. Now, their managing director, Frederick Moore, has resigned, and we do have more for you in the following report.
Joy Sports understands that Mr. Moore, who replaced Mark Noonan last year and is currently on sick leave, will not return to his post. Close sources told Joy Sports that Moore would be back to the office on Monday, November 30, when attempts were made to clarify when he will resume duty. We understand there are some differences between the board and management. The board hired former coach Costa Papich, whom many believe will replace Edward Neodum without consent of management. Papich was at the Accra Sports Stadium to watch Heart of Oak's 1-0 loss to Inter Allies. Moore made intents to leave his role known to close associates following the brouhaha surrounding the appointment of a technical director before the new season commenced 3 weeks ago. Moore, they say, was unaware of the engagement of Manuel Vaspinto, who left his role unceremoniously after just a week. Many of these issues culminated in his decision to resign.
Heart of Oak, they were involved in the Ghana Premier League game yesterday, and was between them and Inter Allies at the Accra Sports Stadium. The scoreline was 1-0 in favour of Inter Allies, and was scared to see a screamer by Richmond Lamte, a contender for the goal of the season.
Goals, and so far that is the problem. It's their first game against Ashgrove. They scored twice but let themselves down by Ahmed Fo to feed in
over black shorts and black, and then there's a place for makes a return to the domestic scene in the jerseys of Hearts of Oak. Game underway. Zach, lovely turn from Razak, cuts in well, looking for space. Almost the first goal for Hearts of Oak. Abednego Tete, he wasn't looking.
How he missed from that range, but he was always leaning back and falling while he was hitting the ball. It's such a poor strike.
Junior. Lovely pass to Abednego Tete. Ali comes up and wins the ball legitimately.
We've seen so much of him since his early miss.
Manav, obviously yet to impact in this game. Radi Obuka goes past Aqua. Obuka will go for power. Brilliant from Obuka, just unlucky to have missed target. Razak is looking dangerous. Patrick Razak! Glorious opportunity. Kujo! An unexpected but powerful drive from Kujo. Decided to take the goalkeeper.
So close to the goalkeeper, always difficult for attackers to get on the end of it because the least contact with the goalkeeper is a foul.
Awesome! Have broken the deadlock. Richmond Lamte from
that is a bullet of a shot out of nowhere, totally against the run of play. Answers to this. This is a world-class finish. It's a belter. Stupendous. Get on the end of it because the least contact with the goalkeeper is a foul.
Awesome!
Foul is. That is why Patrick Razak
asking questions.
Asking all the questions. Teams hang on and pull the strings. You have a feeling there's one more chance in this.
That would be miraculous for Hearts of Oak.
Yeah. And that could be the chance we're talking about.
We'll say thank you for this feeble drive. Hansen must be wrapping up this game with his final whistle. Yeah. So that's the attempt from Michel Sapon. Inter Allies with their only second competitive win over Hearts of Oak.
I'm even short of words to say because I don't know why we should lose this match. Look at the number of chances we created. In fact, our boys are not. I don't know what even to say. From the blast of the whistle, we had all the chances in the world to kill this game. Our opponent didn't play anything extraordinary, but one loose ball, and then we are down. We did everything we could, but the players didn't have the club at all. In fact, we started to go on a high pressing to get the goals as early as that. We watch Allies and we know how Allies played. So we have to put pressure on them so that we settle them as early as possible. But we created all the chances there, but the boys could not finish it. And in fact, it's a very, very disappointed result.
obviously it's going to affect your confidence going forward. How are you going to come back from that?
Yes, it's going to affect us very, very badly.
Tangoba Abayage is a 56-year-old politician. She is the current regional minister for the Upper East region and the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary candidate for the Navrongo Central constituency. She has also served under this government as Ghana's ambassador to Italy. Professionally, Tangoba Abayage prefers to describe herself simply as a politician, but she has a background in accounting, education, and human resource management. She is an old student of the St. Francis Girls Senior High School in Jirapa, the Takoradi Polytechnic, the University of Education, Winneba, and the University of Ghana, Legon.
I've done it all. I did English literature for Form 5. Then I went to do A-levels and I did economics. Then I went to the Polytechnic and deviated completely and did accounting. Okay, and I did very well. I mean, I do very well in accounting, comments and all that. And then I went and did education. Philosophy, psychology, sociology, and all that and all that. Then I went and did human resource management. So seriously, if you ask me which one is my core area, it's difficult to tell.
Tangoba Abayage was born in Takoradi, and although she eventually came up north to go to school, she spent some of her later life in Takoradi and Cape Coast. For this reason, her political opponents have often tried to pitch her to the voters as a stranger, or even that pampered child who spent all her life in the south and does not understand the ways of the people of Navrongo and what their needs are. But she says her opponents are completely wrong about her.
You know, when you say you grew up in the south, people are expecting that you grew up in some bungalow, you know, eating sausages and bread. No. I grew up in Secessionist, but let me state that I was born to a very poor couple. Very, very poor. My father was a night watchman. All of the 6 childhood killer diseases I went through, measles, yaws, whatever. The only thing is I didn't suffer for polio. I'm Apollo 10, I got it, Apollo 11, Apollo whatever. You know, I think my immune system was very low because we didn't get good food to eat. We didn't get good food to eat. So growing up, my mother had few pieces of kente and gold. Because she wanted me to go to school, she either pawned them to get money to let me go to school, but eventually is unable to pay. She had sold everything to ensure that I went to school. That is it. So basically, when you come back to the north and you see poverty, you relate to it. Because you know what it means to be very, very poor. I've seen it all. I've seen it before, so I relate to it. So when I came home, I didn't see myself as a stranger. I didn't see myself coming from wealth to nothing.
There was also the argument made by Kofi Ada, the current MP for Navrongo Central, who Tangoba Abayage defeated during the MPP primaries, that Tangoba has never been involved in the politics of the MPP in any major way, especially in Navrongo Central. But she argues that she has paid her dues well enough to the party.
I started mainstream politics in 2003. By 2005, President Kufuor had made me the regional director for women. It's a public service job, in fact, civil service. You are not supposed to be doing mainstream politics then. So maybe I agree that I wasn't jumping in the limelight, but there is no campaign in this region, including Navrongo Central, that I didn't enjoy. I campaigned vigorously in 2004 because by that time I wasn't the civil servant. I mounted platform and emceed for him in 2004 campaigns. We crisscrossed this entire Navrongo Central constituency. Trust me, if the party didn't know me, Kufuor wouldn't have given me an appointment. If the president didn't know me and didn't have the confidence in me, he wouldn't give me this position. Subsequently, the president made me an ambassador of one key strategic countries in the world, the main one, Italy, and then added Serbia, Montenegro, and Slovenia, and then the 3 UN food agencies in Rome. They were all added to me. It's because the president had worked with me over the years and knew that I could handle the work.
There have also been suggestions from the public that all has not been well between Tangoba Abayage and Kofi Ada after she defeated him in the MPP primaries. So, what is her reaction to these suggestions?
It's been a tough one for, I think, him and the supporters. But we eventually worked together. I have met him. We have met several times. We have had discussions. People think that we don't talk. No, we talk, we chat, actually. So he tells me that, look, I'm a sports person. I know the game. You can win today and lose tomorrow. And this is not his first loss. So between the two of us, we are okay.
And what are her plans for the Navrongo Central constituency if given the nod to become the Member of Parliament?
My target is to ensure that our youth are employed. Either mainstream government employment or self-help employment, giving them the skills, supporting them with whatever was the logistics, so that they learn how to work on their own. Hairdressing, dressmaking, barbering, the welders, the auto mechanics. So you get them to train. Two is our women. Most of our women are sellers in the market and all that. Can we make their life in the market comfortable? So that if you go to the market, some sit right under the sun from morning till evening. What can we do to make sure that their markets are well comfortable for them? Can we have satellite markets? We are going to look into getting small loans for them. Already the government is giving small loans. Can we expand them? Can we expand the leaf package for the vulnerable? What support can we give to the farmers? People are asking for tractors. But the tractors that come are big and they are expensive and out of the pockets of a lot of people. Can we negotiate them? Because I was in Italy, I saw a lot of these small farm equipment. Can we negotiate and get the small ones to bring so that the farmers, even if they form a welfare, they are able to purchase and then use it to do their farm work?
We spoke to some of Tangoba Abayage's supporters in Navrongo Central to find out why they will be choosing her.
I would like to vote for Tangoba because some of the youth, they don't have work. She came and donated machines, hair dryers, and a lot of things.
One thing that makes me believe in Tangoba Abayage so much is that she's a lobbyist, and then she's that leader who takes everything seriously. She looks at the people and then she puts herself into the shoes of the people and understands the situations that they go through and see how best she employs every possible mechanism on board to solve the problem moving forward. Madam Tangoba has tasted how to be poor and how to get to the upper level. She really understands how the ordinary citizen in this community feels and our real situation on the ground.
Tangoba Abayage's main opponent in this election is the NDC's parliamentary candidate, Samson Tangombu Chiragia, who in an earlier interview with Joy News accused Tangoba of trying to induce voters with gifts. Before this interview, Tangoba Abayage had organized a brief ceremony where she supported 150 youth in Navrongo to start vocational training in hairdressing, barbering, and sewing. She paid for their training and also gave them the equipment to start. So, I asked her if this did not confirm the vote-buying allegations made against her by her opponent.
If he says vote buying, I don't know what he's doing. Recently, he went and gave some community polytank. He went and gave some community roofing sheets. He went and gave some community boreholes. What was he doing? Father Christmas? Is he not campaigning? If you campaign and you go to a community, and the community tells you that this is our request, and you are able to grant the request of the people, If he calls that vote buying, I don't call that vote buying. I call that helping the people of the community. And I've been doing that long before I even came into this contest. You know that. I went and rehabilitated the kids' ward in 2018. I didn't even know I would come back home from Italy to become the regional minister. 2018, when I became the regional minister, I organized a party for 500 people in Bolga. They don't vote here. I've been donating since. I didn't know I was going to contest. It is in my nature to give. As a person, I don't have the kind of resources that I would need. But I have people who have bought into my message and they believe that I am the best person to represent this constituency. As a result of that, they are giving me huge donations. When they give it to me, I won't keep it in my room. I will use it to campaign.
And how does she weigh her chances against Samson Tangombo Chiragia in this election?
I know Samson very well. Samson may know the local dynamics. But you know, a lot of people don't know that I know the local dynamics because they just think that this woman came from nowhere and then she's suddenly in Navrongo. No, I didn't. As for politics, local politics, Samson cannot come closer. You know why? Because I've been here long before. Samson cannot match. Oh, Abba, me, I don't take things for granted. Though. I fight like a lioness. And Samson himself knows that these my two claws, they are already holding his neck back. You know me, I'm assuring you, come back. Currently we have won. We just want to extend the margin. And for the first time, we will win this seat for the president, the first ever in the history of Navrongo Central Constituency.
Tangoba Abayage also has quite a loud social media presence, and many of her followers have noticed her sense of good fashion. Some have even nicknamed her the Slay Queen because of her sense of fashion. So I asked on the lighter side what she makes of all this.
They've used it, but it's good to be a slave queen, you know. I've been barefooted since I was born. Even when it is Christmas. One day, my mother didn't have a dress for me and my brother for the Christmas. She had a bed sheet. Bed sheet. My mother took the bed sheet. On the 24th, I said, Uncle Kwesi, if you don't sew something for this, my daughter and the brother, they can't step out. So that is how bad it was for me. That when I passed to go to secondary school, and I left Akradi to come to Navrongo to go to secondary school, I was barefooted. Today, God has blessed me, and I'm able to buy broniwewu. This one like this is broniwewu. I'm able to buy broniwewu to dress. You say I shouldn't dress. I'm going to dress and slay it. So as for the slaying there, I accept it.
Tangoba Abayage is confident of winning the Navrongo Central parliamentary seat for the MPP. Her main opponent, Samson Tangombo Chiragia, is also confident of winning the seat for the NDC. So, who wins Navrongo Central on December 7? Albert Sori, Joy News, Navrongo.
I congratulate you and commend you on your bold initiative to improve the lives of the women.
And we're still counting down to December 7. That's our series, Women Power and Politics. Hope that you did enjoy that. Now let's hit the campaign trail. Of course, this is your election headquarters. We've got just a week to the polls. We start with the NPP's campaign, and our man with the presidential candidate is Elton Brobe. The campaign is in the Ashanti region. Today, Elton joins us live now. Elton, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you. First of all, bring us up to speed with what the president has been up to. Apologies there. We seem to have some issues with the sound, so we're going to work on that and bring Elton live to you. We've got to apologize. Elton, I cannot hear you, so let's correct your sound and let's bring you back. I think we can now. Elton, go ahead.
Yes, Marvin, so I was talking about the fact that we entered the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, around midnight of yesterday, and currently reaching you from the Royal Ameta Hotel. We are all getting ready for 3 days here in the Ashanti region. But before coming here, we were in the western region where the president had a day of campaigning, right from Kwesimintim to Mpoho to Agunam Kwanta, Takwa, and then finally ending it up in the western region. And the message was simple to the people to go out and vote on December 7th, which is just some few days away, exactly 7 days away from today. We'll be queuing up to vote for a president and 275 members of parliament. So the president's message to them was that they should go out there and vote, ensure that the MPP is retained in power. He can only win if they vote for him and the MPP's parliamentary candidate. The issue about independent candidates in the western region was quite high on the agenda of the president. At Takwa, for example, Joycelyn Amano, who is an independent candidate, after failing to win the party's parliamentary ticket in the parliamentary primaries, is causing a stir for the MPP in the Takwa Swayam constituency. This is a seat that the MPP has held since 1996. But the emergence of this independent candidate means that the MPP's chances of retaining the seat is becoming slimmer by the day. President Akufo-Addo took turns to address the crowd and said that he would only work with Mr. Duka, who is the parliamentary candidate on the ticket of the MPP in the upcoming elections. George Duka, I'm talking about, and that for anybody who is claiming to be an independent and campaigning on the backs of the MPP, that person should be rejected. And indeed, he took on the ex-president, describing his campaign as full of deceit and fabrications and all that. So we are now back in the Ashanti region, which is home to the MPP, because if you want to look at the electoral map, the Ashanti region always comes on top when it comes to voting for the MPP. And for political watchers, any party that is able to win 75% and more of the popular votes in the Ashanti region always stand a better chance of winning the national election. Because if you look at the voter population, the Ashanti region comes second after the Greater Accra region. But in terms of parliamentary seats, the Ashanti region has majority across the country. So this is a very unique region. The MPP in the 2016 election won by 1.64 million of the popular votes, representing 75%. The NDC, John Mahama, had 503,000 votes, representing a little over 20%. The NDC's target in 2016 was to win at least 30% of the popular votes, and that would have meant a win for them in the general election, but it didn't happen. So now, with the revised electoral roll, we have more people on the electoral register in the Ashanti region, which means that the MPP have to work hard to win the over 75%, and they are targeting over 80%. And their belief is that if they are able to win 80% of the popular votes in the Ashanti region, that will cancel at least 5 regions in the 16 regions in this country, putting them in a better position to retain power in the upcoming elections. But how is the party hoping to do this? President Akufo-Addo is expected to make 19 stops in the 3 days ahead of us, right in the Ashanti. It tells you the importance they are attaching to this before he will now come back to Accra between Friday and Saturday to wrap it up. Kwesi Che, who joins me here, is the Director of Communications here in the Ashanti region for the MPP. He's been with the party since. And we just want to find out from him the party strategies going forward, because now it looks like the message is changing from attacks on the opponents and rather getting people to go out in their numbers to vote on election day. Mr. Kwesi Che, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So how is the region doing as far as the MPP chances is concerned?
Yeah, the region is doing very well. Let me say hello to everybody. The region is doing very, very, very well, and we can assure you of that 47 that we have targeted. We are going to do exactly that. And we are going to get more people out to vote. We are going to get the numbers, and then, make sure we win this election for Nanado. We're definitely going to do that. We started almost about 3 years ago, gone to all the constituencies, all the polling stations, all the areas we have been there. We know the type of work that we have done. We know the enthusiasm that is, that's coming up around. And we know that people are going out there to vote for His Excellency the President massively. That's what I can say for now.
I have seen videos and pictures from Asawase when the flag bearer of the NDC went there. Quite massive. And some people were like shocked. This is Ashanti when NDC has this number of people following them.
To be shocked because you know the NDC has people here, obviously. Aswansi, they won Aswansi. So if the people of Aswansi alone went with him, I think you can see the numbers. So there's nothing to talk about when it comes to the people who are coming. And I think they had some people too. It was an Ashanti region then. So there's nothing like shock. There's nothing like shock. I'm telling you, they're going to lose big time.
What is the target for 2020 for the Ashanti region, for the popular votes and the parliamentary seats?
The target is to make sure that we win all the 47 seats. We're targeting to make sure that about 90% of the votes will get it.
And why would the region vote that massively for you, 90%? Is it because you've done so much development in the region to merit their vote, or is it just because you think that the MPP is strong with the Ashanti, and regardless of whatever you do in the region, they will come out and vote?
It's because the president is credible, because the president promises and delivers, and because of the massive infrastructure development projects that are going on here. Most of the projects that were left to rot, like the Konfanochi Hospital about 40 years ago, is now being done. You look at Bekwai Hospital, it was there for about 40 years. It's been completed. TEPA has been done. The roads, I think you know the Kumasi very well. The road network here, I think you can see it for yourself. And come to think of it, the free SHS has done a lot of things for us. When it comes to cocoa, you can see what has happened. There are a lot of cocoa farms here in Ashanti region. You can see how the whole thing works out. We went to TEPA and we were told that 1 acre, they were getting about 4 bucks. Now this same acre, because of what has happened to the cocoa sector, they are getting about 16 to 18 bucks. The 4 bucks was giving them 475 cedis per bag, and now the 16 bucks is giving them 660 per bag. So I think you can see it. We come to planting for food and jobs. It's there for all to see. The warehouses are there. When you go to a DRA, you can see that 2,000 capacity, 2,000 ton capacity warehousing. They are there with a mill, which is also there. Our lights are on. People are getting small facilities like the loans that they are getting to support themselves from NBSSI, and a host of other things that is happening right here.
But some are complaining, and this is not related only to the Ashanti, it's a general complaint across the country, the fact that cost of living is high, people are finding it difficult to keep their heads above water.
Where?
And for that reason, it may have a significant impact on the elections. How do you address this?
Oh, no, there's nothing like that. What type of living are you talking about? What type of living? You always have to live within your means. You understand? And you also have to make sure that you save good. It's not how much money you earn that makes you rich. It's how much money you can save. So if you do good savings, you do your good calculations, you can stay. And then you'll be okay.
I have checked the present itinerary for the next 3 days, and I see a lot of drive-thrus. I don't see a lot of Deba and mini rallies for him to address. I see a lot of drive-thrus. Is this for the populace to see him?
No.
What really is behind this?
The president has already been here. You understand? And I think with this trip, he will also like to visit the areas that he wasn't able to visit. So, and it shouldn't be Debes standing in one place for some time. And I think we have only 3 days to go. He has another assignment in Accra that he has to also complete. So I think the visit stuff will do. It's good planning for him to also visit the places that he couldn't visit during the last visit that he came. So I can assure you that we are well on the ground. We are prepared for the job. We are ready to fight. Ready.
Let me ask my final question so that I can let you go. I see you have a lot of on your hands this morning. But last week there was this survey results that came from the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana that put Akufo-Addo ahead of his main opponent John Mahama. That is, if elections were to be held today, the NDC will win, but the MPP will win by 51%. Now we've had similar ones from the CDD and the EIU and other pollsters. Does it make you complacent? What kind of confidence does it give you going into the elections?
Yeah, we will not throw away any research that has been done, never. But it will make us complacent. We are not going to sit down. We are on track. We are doing the job. And it's not because of the results that we are going to say that, oh, let's rest. We are looking at, I am personally constituted, I'm looking at something about 60% plus.
60% for the president?
I'm telling you that. And he's definitely going to get it. He's definitely going to get it. because it's massive. When you visit any part of this region, the region that gives the number of votes, the whole number of votes, if you visit any community, every community has benefited from what is happening. And the people say it themselves. You can see a woman who has about twins, and he was asking herself, what would I have done if this free SHS is done? Free SHS is a game changer. You understand? The railways is on.
The biggest survey actually will be what happens after December 7th. What are you doing to encourage people to go out in their numbers to vote?
Precisely. We are telling everybody that don't be complacent. Go out there and cast your vote. That is where the votes will be counted. So if you stay home and you say you're not going, please make sure your vote is counted. Make sure you are there. Call your friends, call your family, call them on phone, call them, and then let them all go with you so you can vote. You vote number 1. The countdown starts from now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, when you get to the 1, there's nothing more again. And vote 1 for the president, vote 1 for the parliamentary.
For security, are you happy with what has been put in place to ensure people, go through the exercise of their franchise in an atmosphere of peace and then tranquility?
There's going to be absolutely peace. There's going to be anybody who tries to mess up or find himself maybe at the grips of the security forces. So we are saying that there is nothing to fear. And we can assure everybody, every Ghanaian, that nobody from the New Patriotic Party will cause any mess, because anything that is done negatively will go to affect us. And we've spoken to every constituency, every region, every polling station. Now it is the duty of the polling station executives to do their job, and we are fully behind them. We supported them in whatever ways, and we know they are working. And with the work, the results that will come out will show to everybody that this time around, Ashanti is up, and we are going to deliver the 47 seats. We've gone there, we've seen it, and we are talking about it now. And we will make sure that we implement it to the latter. Everybody will be out there. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry who has registered will be out there to cast his vote. And I'm sure the total number of about 90% of the votes will come to the New Patriotic Party right here in Ashanti region.
Thank you very much, Marvi. So that was Kwesi Che. He's the Director of Communications for the MPP in the Ashanti region. The target is 90% of the popular votes and 47 seats all taken in the Ashanti region. That will mean that they will take the seat occupied by the Minority Chief Whip in Parliament, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. We are talking about Asawase. We're waiting to see how that will pan out in the upcoming elections. But this is the Ashanti region. This is the MPP stronghold. So if you are feeling the optimism, it's because they are in their backyard. That is how come they sound so optimistic. But 7 days is just some few days away, and the verdict of the people, the biggest survey outcome, will be witnessed in the country.
Absolutely. Elton Brobe is following President Akufo-Addo's campaign there in the Ashanti region for some 3 days, and he says that there will be 19 stops, and they're trying to claim the only 3 seats being held by the NDC in the region. So all 47 can they? But that links us to this very latest poll that's come out, which says that the 2 parties will have to do really well even in their strongholds. And I'm talking about this poll by the Governance Research Bureau that's predicting a second round for the 2020 presidential poll. So unlike the polls that we've seen in recent days, where it says this will be a one-touch victory largely for the NPP, this one is quite different and interesting. So let's engage the resource persons behind this particular poll. One is a very familiar one. Dr. Kwame Asante is a political scientist with the University of Ghana. Dr. Ezekiel Norte, Senior Lecturer, Department of Statistics and Actuarial Science, also with the University of Ghana. May I say good morning to you both, gentlemen. Dr. Norte, you're joining us via phone. And Dr. Kwame Asante is both via Zoom. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I just want to take us a little back. Dr. Kwame Asante is interesting because you're also coming from that same department that also produced a poll which put the presidential candidates of the NPP as the lead with some 51.7%. That's a a one-touch victory. But your poll, interestingly, says that this could go into a runoff because none of them would get more than the 50%, and even plus the one that we talk about that you need to claim victory. Can you explain the model that you used in this research?
Yeah, I think good morning to you. But my colleague, Dr. Norty, will begin the conversation and I'll take it from the point where he will stop. So over to you, Ni.
Great. Good morning. We actually specified the model, the statistical tool we use. It is a generalized linear model, what is known as a GLM. It's a linear model that predicts the percentage of votes that any of the parties would get. And this is how we did it. NDC, NPP have been there since 1992. So we have all those results. The other parties have, not all of them have been present over the previous electioneering times. So and their performances have also not been too good to write home about. So what we did was to put all of them together in one basket as other parties. So we have NDC, NPP, and other parties. And we wanted to see the percentage of votes that will accrue to any of them. Now, so the dependent variable in this GLM was the percentage of votes that would be accrued, and then the covariates or the independent variables were the constituencies and the parties, because we know that there is an interaction effect between the parties and the constituencies. For instance, a constituency in the Volta region may behave differently from a constituency from the central or the eastern region. So this is what we did to build the various models that predicts who is going to win and by what margin in each of the regions, as well as nationally, what will be the picture.
Okay.
When we finished with that, we built a similar model for the parliamentary, so that we would know which of the constituencies may fall for each of the leading political parties, and then those ones that are for grabs, that they could wrestle to get it. So that is what we did.
Okay.
And so, if you allow me, we might maybe go into the specifics, but you have them all there.
Yes, but Dr. Asante, you said you'd follow the conversation up from where Dr. Noinoti ended. So let's hear you, and then if you can answer the specific question of how this sharply contradicts that of the political science department of the University of Ghana.
Oh, this is what Governance Research Bureau has done. And this is, we as resource person to the Bureau, this is what we are also saying on behalf of the Bureau. For what the department did, I was not part, so I will not be able to speak to the issues. But this, I can speak to the issue we are talking about here. This is what our model predicts. And as my colleague rightly said, we look at the data from 1992 up to 2020, and then that's the analysis we are coming out with. It is interesting in the sense that it's able to bring to sharp focus to some of the nuances regarding voting decisions in the constituencies. And when you aggregate them, it gives you a picture at the national level. For us, as students of politics, we believe that this is an important template as it helps to deepen our knowledge in voter choices and then also electoral trends as we head in towards the major electoral exercise next week, Monday.
Okay. Great. But you say with this that the two major political parties, the NDC and the NPP, they don't just have to do well in their strongholds, but they may have to even do better than in 2016 to maintain the leads and also perform extremely well in the swing regions. Can you further explain?
Yes, we are saying that if you look at our model, the model gives a certain formula for all parties. We are saying that looking at the model, it says that any party or a candidate that performs just minimal, that's your average, you are pushing the election to a second round. If you go beyond your average to your upper limit, you are winning the election first round. If you fall below the average, obviously you are out of the election. So we are saying that for a political party to be able to win convincingly, you need to go beyond your average and head towards the upper limits. And then you, in addition to this, you must do well in your stronghold, because the stronghold is your foundation. That's where you get a lot of votes there. You must do extremely well, and then you move into your opponent's stronghold and perform a little beyond your average, or at worst your average. Then in the swing areas, you need to be able to up your game by going beyond your average. Then the election, you are home and dry. Otherwise, forget it. The election is over.
So on the face of it, Dr. Ezekiel Noy-Note, you're saying that both parties will perform their average, and that's why you say this is likely to go into a second round.
Exactly. Exactly so. You see, in prediction, when you predict the average, you need to give bounds. To what extent can it go up? To what extent can it fall? You understand? So we are saying that this is the prediction, but it could go as far as this, and it could be low as this. Now, if you are moving so close to your upper limit, it means that you are doing better than the predicted average. It means that you are winning. If you are pushing only at your average, it is obviously going into a second round, because when you perform your average as specified, then you are unable to make the 50%.
Okay,
so
great.
Unless you operate above your average. Similarly, in a similar vein, the two main political opponents, if one is performing above its average, you know, it's like a pendulum. The other would be performing abysmally. So as one goes up, the other goes down. Okay? The worst scenario would be that they would be at their averages. So this, as Dr. Ashanti said, is a template all the political watchers can use to monitor the progress as we vote on the 7th.
Okay. So you also predict 107 seats for the NPP and NDC 112, and you say 56 can go either way. Can you explain the 56 going either way?
Yes. The model was unable to come out clearly to say which of the two parties are winning. So for those ones, the model was able to predict. Those ones are the 112 and the 107. But the 56, the reason we listed them so that the political actors can work on them, it means that they would be the kingmakers. The others are already determined, as you can see. So they should work harder in these 56 constituencies we have itemized. So because it could go either way, depending on what you tell the electorates.
So, Dr. Ashanti, I need a bit of clarification again on the 56 going either way, because if you look at some of the constituencies that have been named, I mean, these are places that others are convinced that, for instance, the incumbents would maintain. So are you saying they should perform in terms of get more voters, even though they're going to win, or what?
My colleague rightly said, we are saying that the model could not clearly define that. And it suggests to us that that is what, if I should borrow the US expression, that's a toss-up. So this is a battleground. People, it could go other way. So we are saying that, yes, irrespective of the fact that you believe that that area as your stronghold and then you are likely to take it, hey, you don't have to be complacent. You need to work extra hard because it could go either way. Let me also say that all that we are saying or we have come up with, we are using quantitative figures of the Electoral Commission certified figures, and that there are other qualitative variables that when you put them into this type of analysis, it could change the game. So let us not be oblivious of that fact.
Okay, so
it is the case that I'm telling you.
Okay, wait. So can I just ask a
follow-up? All that we are saying that if you look at the 56, it's a place where everybody must put in the best performance, so that once you get the highest number of seats there, you are home and dry.
So can I ask this? Can there be a significant shift with a week's campaign? As you know, the two major political parties are intensifying their campaign. The NDC's presidential candidate is in the Savannah region.
I really think so. Even a day's campaign can change events. So for me, they should not relent in their efforts. They should go all out, and it will be interesting. We would want to see how many of the 56 will fall for each of the parties. And that would also be beneficial in our model building exercise next time round.
But Dr. Asante, there are other polls that suggest that a lot of people already know who they're going to vote for. So if many people have already made up their minds, then what else would change the people's minds with the one-week campaign?
Yes. At this critical moment, what is of interest to the political party is that they have to look at three important things. One, they need to be able to have their resources intact, both material and human. They need to do that. Who are those people who are going to man the police stations? What are the logistics that you need? The parties must be very busy preparing towards that. The second issue is that they need to have what? Firm policies, strategies that will really help them to deliver the public good. And what do I mean by that? There are a lot of strategies that at this time they have to come out with. You place your ears on the ground and see whether there's a propaganda going against you so that you can rebut. You want to ensure that the right message are given to what? The constituencies and other places. At this point in time, you have to group your messages along the lines of regional, national, and constituency. Because remember, there are constituency-specific issues. You have to get closer to the constituency and find out whether these things are gaining grounds. If there is a problem, you have to come back to the drawing board and then effect a change. Of course, you need to also be careful about the message you send out, because those of us who develop messages, we churn out things that when you respond, then we take a swipe on you, and then we pull you to our comfortable areas, and at the end of the day, you will not do much. They must be wary of all these things if they really want to win the game. But I hope and pray that they will be able to look at all these things and do them appropriately. But more importantly, I want the people of this country to know that election is just a contest. We are going to express our thoughts, our ideas, and all that. It's not a battleground where we are going to fire arms and all that. This country belongs to all of us, and we need to be able to protect it at all times. And that the election is not life and death matter. That when you lose, you need to accept defeat and abide by the game. It is my hope and prayer that the good people of this country will abide by this and will save our country the unnecessary trouble of going through certain hardship that other countries are going through. We have, nurtured this democracy.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure that it consolidates and bring the fruit that will inure to the benefit of everybody in this country.
Just two things before we wrap up. You say that the NDC and the NPP need to perform better in their opponent's stronghold. So, but we know that the NPP, for instance, in their stronghold of the Ashanti region, they are also targeting the 3 seats that the NPP holds. So both parties are looking at not giving anything at all to their opponent in their own strongholds. How do they make this claim of getting more votes when they are also deliberately targeting the seats?
Yes, however poor you perform in your opponent's stronghold, we are saying that there is a minimum average that you need to maintain. If you take, for instance, for Ashanti region, the NDC performance has been around 27%. All right, we are saying that if they really want to do well, you need to maintain this or go beyond that. And that is not something beyond them. They should be able to. But once you are falling there, then you need to perform better in other areas to show up your vote. Other than that, you must throw in the towel and save all of us the trouble of going through a difficult elections. So that's why we are saying that this is an important guide that should really regulate the conduct of political parties and then give them some sort of assurance that when they do the right things, they are able to bagging the votes.
Yes, let me give you the opportunity on this, Dr. Ezekiel Note. How about the rest of the candidates? Because we've got 12 on the ballot. We've just been talking about 2. And your research highlighted on the main 2 political parties. So what happens to the other minority political parties and the only independent candidates we have?
It's quite unfortunate because these minority parties have not really demonstrated any resilience when it comes to showing up votes. So that is why we amalgamated all of them. If we are saying for all the 10 or so, when we put them together, they are not even getting 500,000 votes. It means that they are really not there. It means each one of them is just getting about 50,000 on the average, which is even lesser. Some may get even less. And 2016, you all saw what happened. They were getting binary values, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, and so on and so forth. You can't win an election with zeros and ones. And so it's unfortunate, but currently the data do not suggest they would do well in the upcoming one.
Okay, but would it be significant if they gave their vote to one of the 2 parties?
Certainly, yes. Certainly, yes. Because from the average prediction that we have given based on the model,
2.54.
Yeah, theirs is 2.54. Add 2.54 to both of them, you will see that they will cross the 50. You understand? So though their values are insignificant, they are the main proponents of pushing the election into a second round.
That's interesting. Dr. Asante, would you like to have a say on this just before we go on the minority political parties with their 2.54%?
Yes, the figures that you see is nothing but a manifestation of the kind of political system that we have. It is a 2-party state, simply put. All right. We are saying that the party, a state is said to be 2-party when you have a number of parties existing, but that only 2 have the political wherewithal to win power and form government. If you look at our history since 1992, it's only the NDC and MPP have been winning power. It tells you that it's nothing but what a 2-party state. So any other party, they are just very small parties, and that their contributions are not that significant. So when you look at it from that perspective, it throws light on what we are talking about. But it is strategic that you have such a group there, because if you place your parties in a very firm position, you can begin to lobby them, talk to them, and then you get some of the votes so that you cross the 50% plus 1 threshold, so that you win first round.
Okay. Well, is this the last one before December 7? Oh, you've got another one coming up.
No, this is the last one. This is the last one.
Okay.
This is the
All
last
right,
one.
gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We'll wait to see how much of the prediction comes through. That's Dr. Asa Asante with the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, and Dr. Ezekiel Noi Norte, who's a senior lecturer with the Department of Statistics and Actuarial Science with the University of Ghana. What is interesting, really, is the fact that the Political Science Department itself also came out with a poll that puts the NPP's presidential candidate at 51.7%. They say this is going to be a one-touch victory for the NPP, giving the NDC some 40.9%. Again, we've seen Paul Stabenefsing also predicting a one-touch victory for President Akufo-Addo. But this one says that we're likely to go into a second round, and it's only the minority political parties and the independent candidates on the ballots. They have 2.54%. The best they can do is to push this election into a second round. I guess we wait to see what happens and if there will be any more polls in the coming days, with some 7 days to the 2020 elections. Of course, this is your election headquarters. Now let's cross over and bring you an event that is happening live at the Obra Sport. It's the NDC on a probity and accountability match in honor of former President Jerry John Rawlings. That's where my colleague Benjamin Akapo is reporting live from this morning. So he joins us to explain what's been happening. Ben, over to you.
Well, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the Obra Spot, which is actually the scene of the probity and accountability march that the NDC, the major minority party, is organizing today. Now, right behind me, if you look into the crowd, I mean, it's a lot of people who are here gathered. It's a rapturous scene, and if I'm not mistaken, hundreds, if not thousands of people are gathered here today. Earlier shots we took, I mean, a whole lot of excited party faithful who have descended on the Obra Spot, and they are here talking about probity and accountability, and they are saying they are actually disappointed in the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency the President. Now, if you look at some of these placards here, some of them unprintable words, but this one says Ejabwani criminals. The other one, Yeji Nsika, which is one of the focal, points as far as this march is concerned. This one says Sakawa government. The other one, Akufo-Addo, is corrupt. And more, Akufo-Addo is this and that, a nation wrecker. So those are some of the placards being held here. If you just look right above the bridge, you would see the heavy security presence that is over there. So a heavy security presence, the military here in full force, ensuring that everything goes according to plan, that things do not get out of order. Now, I tried getting some of the NDC national and regional executives. Apparently, the likes of Greater Accra Regional Chairman for the NDC, Adekoka, is on his way here. The likes of the National Deputy Youth Organizer, Edem Agbana, is also en route. But currently, we have here with us the parliamentary candidate. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Charlie Ayoko Botwe. I'm talking about Emmanuel Adote Alote. He is the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Anya Sotum. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, that's true. But my contender is not Charlie Ayoko Botwe. She didn't contest this time around. It's a different person.
Right. Thanks for the correction. Now, please go ahead. So, in organizing this march and everything that is going on, what is the feeling? What is the brain behind all of this?
Thank you very much. Let me extend greetings to everyone who is watching or listening to Joy News this morning. Yes, this is a walk. It's in memory of our late founder, Jerry John Rawlings. And we are trying to let everyone in Ghana understand what it means by probity and accountability. And that's the theme of the walk this morning. And we are just asking everyone that they should join. This is not only for NDC. Rawlings is for the whole country, the whole Ghana. So we are asking everyone, wherever you are this morning, you can rush to Obrasport and join us as we work to demand accountability from this current government. You know what is going on. The PDS, the Japan deal and all. I mean, every day and age scandal. So we are asking everyone to work, because I believe if Rawlings were to be alive, he would not be able to see to allow all this to happen. So we want whatever it is now to see that we are still living his legacy, we are still living his dream of ensuring probity and accountability and social justice in our communities. And that is why we have organized this work this morning.
How many people are you looking forward to seeing trooping in here today?
Frankly speaking, we are expecting thousands of people, because this work is for the entire Greater Accra region. We have about 34 constituencies, so we are expecting thousands of people from all the constituencies to come here. So ideally, we are expecting over 300,000 people this morning. As you can see, they are trooping in their numbers. And
you're expecting over 300,000 people?
Yes, because we have buses coming from, Adan constituency, Sege constituency, Domi Abra Obum constituency, then Ashiaman, they are all coming. Shai also, they are all coming. People from all the 34 constituencies in Greater Accra. So just imagine. I mean, we have membership in Greater Accra is in millions. So if we are expecting everybody to come here this morning for the work, then 300,000 is even underestimated.
So now you've talked about the numbers you're expecting. How about your party's leadership? Whom should we expect to see here today?
For Greater Accra, we are expecting all the leadership. The chairman is 2 vice chairman, secretary, organizer, his deputies, the communication, everybody is coming. For national, we are expecting some of them, because some of them currently are on national assignment. So those who are available will be here. I believe Sami JV will be here, like we discussed. We are also expecting the incoming president on the 7th of January, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Kwame Ayebida is also coming here this morning. So for region, we are expecting everyone. Former appointees, former executives, everybody is coming. Then national, we are expecting some of them. Even national, we are expecting some of the appointees that supported Mahama in his 4 years rule.
So that is Emmanuel Adote Alote, who actually is the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Anya Soutum. At the end of today, when everything is said and done, what do you hope to have achieved?
Well, our purpose is to make Ghanaians aware that Rawlings stands for probity, accountability, and social justice. That is what we are drumming down to everyone in Ghana at this moment. At the end of the day, what we are expecting that the current government will listen and stop the chop, stop the waste, and stop the stealing, because the resources and the money of this country belongs to the Ghanaians, not family and friends. And that is what we are. And that is why I'm saying that we are asking all Ghanaians. This is not only for NDC. Rawlings is not only for NDC. Rawlings is for every Ghanaian. So we want everyone to understand that what the current government is doing is waste of our resources. And we believe that by close of today, that message will go down. And I believe it will have influence in the election. Yes. Because we cannot sit for us to have PDS, Japan, PPA, National Youth Authority, boss scandal, so many. A whole senior minister involved in the another $1 million issue. Now they have to sack the Auditor General and replace it with a deputy. We can see what is going on. You see, I think one of the challenges we are having in this country is we, the journalists, we are not helping issues at all. Whenever NDC is in power and things are going wrong, we drum and hammer on it and speak. But we can see all these things happening. But the journalists, it's only NDC that is fighting. You see, the resource for this country must not only be covered by only NDC. We expect everyone, especially the journalists, because you are the fourth, realm, helping us to fight and make sure we build a better Ghana. So I'm pleading with the journalists, please, we need you. We need you. You know everything that is going on. Don't wait for us to say it. You know what is going on. Please help NDC to fight this corruption. It's becoming too many. You saw what, we've all read the articles from Martin Amidu. Series of them. He described the current president as what? The mother serpent of all corruption. He says the Japan deal is the greatest corruption since independence. And I think this should not be NDC's fight. The journalists must also help us to fight, because when the things of this country are being wasted, it will affect everybody, not only NDC. So I plead with all of you.
One thing I find interesting, you are picking and choosing when Martin Amidu, the former special prosecutor, talks about the Airbus scandal and government official one. That one you don't, you debunk it, but when he talks about Ejapa and, you know, the mother serpent of corruption, that one you stand by. So why that, you know, disparity?
So you see why I have a challenge with the journalists of this country. Airbus scandal is something that was, you know, dealt with by the SFO in UK. They never mentioned anybody's name. Yes. Now they have the capacity to fight if indeed those involved are in Ghana. Okay? So I don't see why we want to. For Japan, we know those behind it. Yes. We have the names.
But Mr. Alote, just to come in here. Now the bit is, it's a risk assessment. And the former special prosecutor stated categorically that as far as he is concerned, he surmises that government official one is, you know, your national presidential candidate.
Thank you very much. You see, like I said, the SFO of UK has the capacity to declare who is official one. They never did that. And this is an issue that is being dealt with in an international, you know, level. Whatever we think is wrong, if you think the official one, like you are saying, is whoever, like you mentioned, why can't we have the SFO dealing with this issue? And you see, don't tell me.
Former special prosecutor said that he didn't invite him simply because of the period we're in and the security situation.
My brother, see, that is why I say I have to journalists. You and I know that it is wrong. It is not true. He has the capacity to invite him if he thinks something wrong untoward has happened. He can invite him. He does not need to write articles. But currently, what is at stake currently is the deal. And let's stop saying that the man is doing risk assessment. Check the document that established the OSP. He has the right to do what he's doing. After a 64-page document, he has come back to affirm that those involved in the deal are nation wreckers. He has said it. I'm not saying it. I'm quoting him. He has also said that the president, the finance minister, and his family are involved in this thing. In fact, he said the finance minister came to his house to beg him to influence the document. These are. Let's go back to the.
I don't know about the additions, but he did mention that the finance minister
was
there.
Why would you go to the OSP's house? Why would he go there?
Let's do this. Your point is clear on this matter, but let's take a look at some of the polls that we've had in recent times.
Thank you.
They do not seem to favor the NDC. In fact, Ben Epson came out with this poll and he says you're going to lose. The political science department of the University of Ghana, they say you are going to lose. Recently, we've had two more polls. You know, the Bureau of Governance, and then again. We've had, you know, the I polls as well, which are saying that maybe there could be a second round. How does the party feel about these polls?
Thank you very much. We are not perturbed by polls at all. If you see, as journalists, I believe you know what we call the historical antecedent of every issue. Go back and check the polls. The political science department, I went to Legon, for instance. I did pure science at Legon before I went to the business and economic department. I know the nature of the political science department. I know those people were there. Look, I have no.
When you say when you know the nature, what do you mean?
I know them. They are all MPP people, and I'm saying it on authority. I'm the candidate.
People like whom?
Oh, Dr. Usumensa, I know them. Jechi, whoever. Look, I know. Look, I did a course where my thesis was supervised by political science department. I know them. They are MPP. They have been paid to do these things. Like I'm saying, we are not perturbed by any polls. The right polls will be happening 7th of December.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now will tell me whether this government. That is, I mean, swimming in corruption. Whether Ghanaians will take them, we shall see.
Thank you. But before I let you go and I speak to a former Greater Accra Regional Secretary, what routes are you using?
Currently, we've been told to all gather here. We're expecting the regional organizer and executives to direct us as to which route we'll be moving through and where we are going to end. So that will be said before we move.
So once the regional executives come in, that's when you will know what route you are using. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Hello. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, my brother.
Your name?
My name is Victor Kwasi. I don't know, immediate past Greater Accra Regional Secretary.
All right. Now, how do you feel about this march today that is going on here, and what are you hoping to see at the end of the day?
Well, it's been very, very necessary as far as this march is concerned. You know, we have barely 1 week to elections. And this government, especially His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, became president on falsehood, tagged the incoming president with a lot of corruption tags, if you remember, a lot of lies, left, right, forward, center. So Ghanaians believed what he was saying. When he had opportunity, what has he been able to prove? He's proved nothing. But rather, he himself he himself, it's bare now, it's open now, that he is not only a clearing agent of corruption, but an architect of corruption himself, epitome of what? Corruption himself. He has been described by the special prosecutor that he himself employed recently, that he is what? A mother serpent of corruption. You can imagine and understand what that means. My brother, the issue concerning this Yagaba, I overheard my brother, and when he was speaking, all what he said were facts. You were mentioning the issue of what? Airbus. The incoming president has dared Martinamidu that if he has the legal right to what? Investigate him, he should go ahead and rather come with a comprehensive report in that regard and invite him. There he comes.
So at the end of today, what are you hoping to see?
What we're hoping to see is that, you see, this is not about only NDC issue. We need to rescue this nation from this tyrant. Are you with me? This family builder. We need a nation builder. And that is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the visionary. And he has done it before. And so we know him. Are you with me? Now we're drumming this to the entire nation. Wherever you find yourself, it's not about NDC. This is what the picture of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa has come to bear. He is a corrupt person himself.
Thank you.
He is known in Ghana history today as the most corrupt president we've ever come across.
Well, that is a former deputy general secretary.
Okay, so that's the NDC on a probity and accountability march in honor of former President Jerry John Rawlings. Of course, we will get reactions to those allegations that have been mailed by Benjamin Akakpo following that march. For us, you're still watching the AM show on Joy News. We've got show business news coming up with Caddy pretty shortly. Stay with us.
Good morning, you're welcome to the showbiz segment right here on the AM show. My name is Kadi. Now let's move to our Links Entertainment signee Kidi, and he is saying that he has no courage, or he does not have the courage to tell a musician or a former artist that his songs or his verse on his song is whack. He says more.
I don't have the balls to do that.
So you just take the song like that, even when you're not...
I don't have the balls to tell somebody their verse isn't good enough, because I don't know the space they were in when they made the music. It's the same way if I've made music that people hear and they be like, it's not nice, you know, and it hurts me. So I know how it would probably hurt them if I told them their verse wasn't nice. Maybe when they did it, their team, everybody felt like, hey, you sported it. So I mean, whatever space they made that song in, I just take it like that and move with it. Music is all about vibes. So if they did it in good vibes, it could fly.
If you were in that position, would you want the other artists to tell you that you did
me,
well?
Me, I like straightforward. Like tell me that, oh, bro, I feel like you do this. I'll do it because I want the best for the song. I want the song to come out and people to enjoy it. So if there's something you feel like I should have done better, tell me straight. I'll do it.
So why wouldn't you tell?
People are different. Me, I can take it. No, doesn't mean everybody else can take it. You get it? So I appreciate it if you tell me, but I mean, I don't think I'll tell you. I won't. If that, I'll write the verse for you. Okay. If I know that you probably can't write and I'm trying to feature you, then I will write the verse for you.
Okay. But if the person brings the verse and it's not good, you just take it like that. Okay. Wow.
I'll keep it on the.
But that will affect you.
No, but like I said,
that affect the song.
Like music is all about vibes. The person probably wrote in the highest of spirits and the most positive vibe, and I don't think I want to take that.
So on your part, you try and make.
I'll make it work. Yeah, I'll make it work.
Okay, all right.
And I believe, I hate to say it because I'll probably get backlash, but I believe that in music, when the few seconds of a song, if it's able to capture your audience, the rest of the song will capture them. The few seconds of the song. So you have to make sure your first verse, your chorus is on point. Psychologically, the mind is open to accept whatever second verse you give them.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so that makes your job even more difficult. But then,
that's
your
why
song, so
if you look at most of my songs, I'm always very particular about my first line because I need to capture you with the first line. Whatever you hear first, you should be like, oh, okay, and then your mind will be relaxed to listen to the rest of the song. Okay. So yeah, the job is in the beginning of the song. Capture them, and then you have them.